begin with a spin, traveling in the world of my creation. What we'll see will defy explanation. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do, want to change the world, there's nothing to it. If you want to view paradise, simply look around and view it. Anything you want to do, want to change the world, there's nothing to There is no life I know to compare with pure imagination. Living there, you'll be free if you truly wish to be.
You just heard Pure Imagination covered by Storefront Church, the band. We're here with Lucas Frank now, who's the man, and that rhymed. But I saw you at the Underground Arts Center in Philly opening for Dive, and I went with my best friend, and we were like blown away by your voice, which is nuts.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, dude.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost, it was 4 years ago now, huh?
Yeah, yeah, and you had an album come out since then, and The Gift has like 1 million streams or something like insane. So
Yep.
that's pretty wild, you know.
Yep. Yeah. The Queen's Gambit feature didn't hurt for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been crazy time. Been keeping busy. Um, things are good. Things are good. Got the Covers EP coming out. Show here in LA. Out another full length in the tank. Just kind of plugging away.
Yeah, you're I thought you were singing on Pure Imagination at first. Dude, because you said both have like amazing voices. There's a little deeper for sure, but
hmm
this is like crazy.
Yeah,
The
Haley's amazing.
Yeah. How do you pronounce their name?
Circuit des You. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's a
Okay.
Circuit des
Oh, I
You.
don't care.
Yeah, it's French is not my second language.
True, man. But so you front the band, correct? Okay. So who's all in the band?
Well, I kind of am the band and front the band. I mean, I I would say that the two main collaborators long term have been Cassidy Turbin, my engineer, who's engineered everything I've ever done. And he's really brilliant and definitely the one to credit for the really sort of hi-fi sheen on everything. And Waylon Rector is my guitar player who's co-wrote a lot of stuff on As We Pass, the first full length, and his sound as a guitar player is just all over everything. He's really a total savant and deserves a lot of credit for the sound and some of the melodies and lead lines and things here and there. So
Well, yeah, I've been listening to the album since it came out. I just went through it again. Dude, it's so good. It's really awesome.
thank you, man.
There's a
Thank
lot
you.
of really smart writing in there.
Thank you.
Like just like the chord progressions and stuff and the way you weave melodies through. It sounds kind of like cliche, but like there really is like a lot of stuff that's like, oh, like you
Right
like
on.
expecting when you're going through.
That means a lot coming from you. You've got some really sophisticated arrangements and songs and things. So I
Dude,
appreciate that.
thank you. No, I appreciate that a ton. I mean, I'm a fan, so hearing that's like insane,
Right on.
honestly. But yeah, dude. How'd you get to open for like Dive? Like that's pretty wild. I'm
Funny
so glad
story.
you know.
I met Cole, the singer and lead of Dive, at a Magic the Gathering tournament here in Los Angeles.
No way.
Yeah, and we got to talking, and we were both we were both newly sober, and we were both in bands, and we just kind of got to talking as I was crushing him in a game of Magic the Gathering. I remember him making a lot of really grave errors in the match that cost him the game. But we ended up just becoming fast friends and started hanging out a ton soon after meeting, and that sort of organically turned into a creative friendship and collaborative partnership where we would he worked a lot on As We Pass with me, and is always someone I've sort of passed music back and forth with. But yeah, it wouldn't have happened without Magic the Gathering. So
Wild. You're always posting
yeah,
stuff about that. I'm not.
yeah.
I can barely play. I mean, my cousin has me over when we play like tiny leaders, and they just like
Oh, right on.
tell me how wrong I am every turn. But
Yeah, I mean it's the you know the barrier to entry is so absurd. It's just the amount of shit you have to remember just to function in the game is it's just ridiculous. I don't remember learning it as a 12-year-old, but I'm shocked that I managed to.
have you been playing it that long?
Yeah, I took a break in high school to prioritize, having a social life, and now I'm prioritizing Magic the Gathering again. I've got my shit together now.
That's working for some reason. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I met one of my best friends. I've met a lot of really close friends playing Magic, and a lot of cool musicians and just cool people in general through the Los Angeles Magic community.
Wow. Is that how you got? Is Phoebe Bridgers through that too for the covers EP?
Phoebe Bridgers is through elementary school all the way through middle school, high school.
Wow.
We just grew up together in Pasadena, and I used to play drums for her when we were in high school in her
That's so
mom's
nice to
basement.
hear. That like I don't know, scenes all like seem to rise and stuff.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like being a small town kid, but like I've never left LA, and it's like being a small town kid who never left. I'm still friends with people I went to kindergarten with, and have known for 20 years. I teach kids at my old elementary school. There is sort of, to me, Los Angeles has there's a very sleepy small town side to it that I love.
That's great. Do you ever like pull up your streams for the students and just be like,
I do find myself, my students, talking to me about Magic the Gathering, and when I'm like, you know, there's something pretty embarrassing about shooting the shit with a 9-year-old about your passion slash hobby. So I end up shutting it down pretty quickly out of shame. But I have some students who I have one student who I've been teaching for like half his life now. He's 13, 14, been teaching him 7 years, and we'll play Magic every now and then after his lesson, and I just love mercilessly crushing him. It brings me a lot of joy.
I hope he's listening.
Oh, he's definitely not, I promise.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So you have an album in the bag. Are you allowed to talk about
Mhm.
that? If not, I can cut it out.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. We spent the past 3 years and a lot of the pandemic working on an orchestral record. It's definitely a slight shift in sound. I would say that the covers EP is sort of a nod towards the new sonic aesthetic to the music. It's a piano record as opposed to a guitar record. Very indebted to people like Brian Wilson and Scott Walker and Nick Cave. Yeah, I wanted to do like I've always tried to make cinematic music, but I wanted to see how far I could push that. And I think we really pushed it to the nth degree on this one. And now we're just kind of trying to find a home for it, figure out how we want to put it out, if we want to independently do it or do it with a label, that sort of thing.
Wow. Are you still with Sargent House?
No, we've left Sargent House.
It's probably just like
Yeah.
pandemic weirdness, right? I imagine.
That was a big part of it. All the love to Sargent House in the world. They were a great fit at the time. I think we're just kind of looking to do something different with this record and reach a kind of a different audience and branch out from that sort of world of darker, more a lot of like heavy, aggressive music. We're kind of trying to frame things differently with this record. So we thought we'd explore our options this time around. But all the love in the world to the Sargent House community.
Do you have any titles in the works or no?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold off on sharing that, but
No
it's done, top to bottom.
worries. That's exciting. Yeah,
Yeah.
any idea how many years you think, or
How many years it took to
you
make?
put it out?
Oh, God willing, it'll be out in the fall.
Okay.
But you never know with this stuff. We have a lot of balls up in the air at the moment, so we'll see
Okay.
what happens.
So your main instrument piano?
Main instrument is drums, believe it or not. I
Okay.
used to tour around as like hired gun drum guy when I was a kid. And then I'm now mostly piano guy, but I teach kids drums.
And I saw you on guitar. So
Right. Right. Yeah, I'm always switching around.
that's awesome. Yeah, there's some beautiful piano in those covers for sure.
Thanks, man. That's my friend Alex Fischel, actually, who played on the new record as well. And he's brilliant. He plays in Spoon.
Oh, okay. Damn. So what made you think of doing like a cover EP? Like what was the inspiration for that?
We had some time as we're trying to figure out what to do with the new album. And I hate sitting still. I mean, there's a good chance we'll have more coming out in between prior to the next full length, just because I just don't like doing nothing and sitting around and waiting. So I'd always wanted to do a covers EP, and we thought we'd just do kind of a quick and dirty just get it done in a month or two kind of a vibe. It definitely took longer than I thought once I started inviting all these different collaborators in, and just logistically getting people involved took a lot longer. Um, but yeah, I just kind of to fill the pass the time was the idea, I think.
Sounds great, and everything is cinematic, like you said. That's like the number one thing that always came to my head when I was listening to your music. And then seeing that your dad was like a movie guy, which is insane. I read that Hollywood Reporter interview you guys did.
Oh, right on. Yeah, that was sweet and wholesome. Yeah, it still is a movie guy. Very much sort of the LA upbringing with both my dad and my uncle on my mom's side, in the movie business.
Yeah. Just saying a movie guy is like a massive understatement.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's been working in the movie business for, you know, 40, 35 years, something crazy. Yeah.
I know. I saw like Marley and Me. I was like, what? Like
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't do.
We love giving him shit for that one. He's I think this year or last year for Christmas, he got me a signed Marley and Me poster. And he like misspelled my name and was like, good luck with all that with all that you do, or something like that. It was pretty
People
good.
love that, man. Like that's a great movie. I saw Logan a couple months ago and I was like blown away by it. What would say your favorite thing your dad's done is?
Um, I really like Godless, the Western he did. That's a mini series that he
Okay.
did with Jeff Daniels. It's really good. I love Out of Sight is a movie he did with George Clooney. Um, that's awesome. Minority Report's great.
I meant to say that.
Classic.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's so
Yeah, I mean, he's done so many awesome movies. And yeah, I really do like pretty much everything he's done, quite a bit. He did The Queen's Gambit most recently, which was a shocking success, given that it's the show about chess. None of us thought it would do quite as well as it did, but really cool to see.
Oh yeah. So I'm sure that's like a huge influence on your music, I imagine. I think that's where like the cinematic thing comes from.
Yeah, I mean, growing up hearing my dad and my uncle talk a lot about movies, it's funny hearing them talk about it totally turned me off from the whole thing. There's so much politics and bullshit that you have to contend with and manage. I just couldn't imagine myself doing what they did, hearing them sort of talk shop. But I think that my uncle and my dad's reverence for music definitely pointed me in that direction. And yeah, I definitely borrow a lot of my stuff from composers, movies. I try and write from a very visual place a lot of the time, and particularly on this next album, like a huge Ennio Morricone influence, and yeah, just cinematic tricks that I steal. I spent a lot of time too when I was younger, sort of shadowing Foley artists. Are you familiar with
No.
Foley? Foley is the art of sound design and creating sounds for film. So, every sound that you hear in a movie typically is recreated after the fact, even just like footsteps walking down a hallway. There's some guy in a studio creating those footstep sounds. And so it can be as mundane as that, or to like a building falling underwater. What does that sound like? And sort of being around those guys and watching their creative process really inspired how I produce my own music a lot of the time, and how I think about sort of molding the space of the songs.
That's funny you said that out because I did write down like as a note when I was listening to stuff again. Buildings in black and white crumbling was like an image
Oh, cool.
that
Oh, yeah.
I totally get from that. Yeah. Um, That's really wild. My old guitar teacher used to like do stuff like that, and
Mm,
blows my mind. It seems like very tedious work. You know, I can barely get
can
YouTube
be.
to start like when you like clap and you gotta like line out the audio.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it for sure can be. Those guys make it look. I mean, it was fascinating to me. And the guy that I was sort of following around is this guy Wiley Statement, who's done um, everything from Quentin Tarantino movies to, I mean, it just his list of credits is insane. Um, but he has like an extreme passion for what he does, and it was contagious to be around.
Wow. So will you be scoring a film? I imagine at some point, right?
Hope so. Yeah, I mean, I've done friends things here and there, and as my friends have, I've shared this album around with friends here in LA, and there that's been sort of a calling card for scoring things, as it does sort of up the ante on the cinematic side of things.
Oh yeah, for sure. I wanted to know about the As We Pass album art.
Mm.
Dude,
Yeah,
that's awesome. It's so sick. That's just like a striking image that really like you remember it, you know what I mean? It like hits hard.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that image. It's Aaron Johnson. He I his artist name is Crash Override, or that's his Instagram. But he's so brilliant. He does live visuals for Flying Lotus, Billie Eilish, The Weeknd. I mean, he's an unbelievable. Danny Elfman too. He did a lot of the visuals for,
That
and
guy's
so
everywhere.
yeah. And he just kind of whipped that up for me. And it was his. He usually does video work, but I got him to do just a still for me, and it was,
It's wild.
yeah, couldn't be happier with it.
Yeah. I was gonna be like, how'd you get the bus up there? It
Yeah, it's crazy how real it looks.
really does. Did
Yeah.
you, so that was your idea then that you gave him?
Yeah,
Okay.
so can you do a burning bus suspended in midair?
Wow.
And that's what he did, yeah.
It's amazing. Was there a meaning? I'm sure there is, but if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, there's a song on the album called Us Against Us,
Great song.
where there's a line uh, about being born on a moving bus headed for the cliff. And just sort of the idea of, the album title, As We Pass, all the songs are sort of about being in the process of, um, and being inside of something coming to an end. And whether that be a cathartic experience or a painful one. That's sort of to me, the running theme throughout the album.
Okay. The I heard some beautiful lyrics. I wrote it down. Let me look. I can't remember what it was. It was in the last couple songs in your album are so gorgeous. They just like get like progressively more beautiful, kind of darker. But
Thanks, man.
it was about it was like your family's gone, but I see them in your face. Something like that.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
the
the
lyric?
line.
Oh,
Yeah.
that is like
That's-
one of the best lyrics, man.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's one of my oldest ones.
And that was Let's Leave. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That one, yeah, sort of about the family chain. Both the chain as in, being a part of the lineage, and the sort of bondage of family.
True.
And wanting to maybe leave.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't let your dad say this. But
Yeah, I mean, it's not about my family, but
no, I know. Yeah.
yeah.
The beach, is that you playing drums on that?
That's my buddy Henry Quapis.
That is a super cool beat throughout that song.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that little jazzy thing
Yeah, I love it. What's your favorite song on the album, would you say?
on As We Pass.
Yep.
That's a tough question. They're all so old to me. Some of those songs are 6 or 7 years old now.
Oh wow.
Um, lying to actors is definitely emblematic of that time for me, I would say. Um, and is a carryover from the Storefront Church EP, and one that to me, doesn't get old to me. I like Us Against Us a lot.
Yeah, the music video that your dad did is nuts.
Thanks, man. Yeah, that was a hilarious process. We sort of put each other through the ringer, or I should say, I put him through the ringer. We had like 5 minutes to make that video. Let's go. Let's do it.
Was it his
Um,
idea or your idea? Or like the car?
It was my idea, and we quote unquote co-directed. Uh, but yeah, we just cranked that thing out in 30 seconds flat, and it was fun. It was fun. Definitely a lot of father-son bickering, but we had a good time.
Looks like it took way longer than 30 seconds. It looks great. But the
Thanks.
is there anything else you want to like promote? Because I know you have a show coming up in LA this week, right?
Yeah, we do. Well, we're playing this Saturday. If this comes out prior to that, Saturday, March 4th, we have the Covers EP coming out Friday the 3rd, and that's pretty much it. That's what we got cooking right now. We might have another single or two kick around in the next couple months. We're playing Roadburn Festival in the Netherlands, and maybe to be determined a couple other spots across Europe. So keep an eye out.
Sweet. I hope to see you on the East Coast again soon, dude.
Yeah, it'll happen for sure.
Okay.
Sure,
Sweet.
you will.
And I'm excited for the EP for sure. I'm really can't wait to hear the rest of it.
Right on. I appreciate you having me on.
Oh, dude, for sure. Thank you for doing this, man. So cool.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I rode in on a missile like an American